7 o'clock. It's called the planning board meeting. Order.
Bronzeville report, the top of the box, the senior strategic analyst, the County General Jack Keane about what's left to negotiate between Russia and Ukraine. Remember,
First thing is approve the previous meeting minutes. There were some questions. Butter on minutes.
Yes,
Is that you?
yes.
Is that you?
And they're for the 10-14 minutes.
Okay, you're in butter?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because that makes you special. You got a notification in the mail? I'm certified, yeah, like the law says that you're the only one to get a certified mail return receipt question. Because the subdivisions and these things affect you the most. Well,
Oh, yeah.
We've gotten the letter.
Very fun.
lifestyle, so we do want one thing, so I do want you to understand the minutes, that they don't come up much on changes. Because one thing I do as chairman, first thing I do is I look at it and see if I've given them three expectations on the minutes. If I just take a minute to tell you what those are, it'll help answer your questions that we go to. What I instructed them is that the minutes should be clear enough, factual enough, and concise enough to be a record of our actions. But not so detailed that become a full transcript, not transcripts. Second thing was they must have captain decisions, motions and votes. And they have to include the inventees and the absentees and any substance of any action taken, which was the actions. The last thing was that the level of detail should be proportionate to the level of the issues of importance. And they should avoid subjective language and extensive debate on it. So that's kind of the detail that I've asked them to do. That these are all recorded, detail is recorded, and everything that we're reading is public information to be. But that, so let's go through the questions that you had on the minutes, then we go through. I think the first one was on, you have those?
The
Yeah.
10-14 minutes.
Specific questions from.
Yeah, they are on South, 130 South Street. The first item.
Where it happened.
First in the 130 South Street category. Sorry, those are the October 28th. Yeah, as the 28th minutes there, the 14th were the ones that were questioned.
Okay, I have that.
Yeah, they've already been approved by the board.
Okay, and I believe as an employee, you have the right to have all your questions answered, and you have the right to know.
I mean, sure.
All right, the first one about shared information on the history of the property. It was his history. It doesn't say that he was a noted historian. And I would let that go. The board can have questions and won't change that word. But that's a good, without going into all, there was a lot of debate on that subject. And that's just history of it. We could change that word. The second one was, they give you about comments that have been said, but it was incomplete. It was partial and brief. I only addressed the planning board question. I didn't address conservation. Well, I'm not going to speak for the conservation or the board of health or the selectmen, the DPW. A lot of those questions were done by addressing the board. But I think the burden is on us to give you the information of where you can get those answers. So the first one is look online and look at all the questions that were asked. If you have any question of where they go to, we'll help you. Either Lauren or Mike will tell you, you all know the people, the names, the numbers, for you to address to get the answer to your question. I can't answer your question on wetlands. I can't answer your questions on DPW things. So, but there are questions that were on the meetings. So I feel we're obligated to at least get you the right information. So. But I would add, I would correct the meeting minutes to show that that information is available. That when we discussed the abutters comments, that we put in that all abutters comments are listed on the website. Is that true?
They are correct.
They all listed on the website. So we should list that information is available to you. And regarding Snaptech peer review. That's a tough one, because I don't quite know what you're looking for, because a formal response to peer review, it's been a while. I think we've got everything, I get everything I need to know about this, and I'm only waiting for him to supply information. I know where I am on things. So it's still a long way to go, and I don't know what this would help us do. He still has to come in, he still has to comply with everybody. We don't vote on anything unless the other boards approve it. We don't release a lot till the road's all done, everything's complete, he's got all the stuff. So he's quite a ways away from this particular question on peer review. So I don't quite know how to change the minutes to reflect that. Our actions and obligations and follow requirements that he follow all the bylaws. Regardless if I send a letter to him or don't send a letter, he's got to follow all the bylaws. Or ask for a waiver, which we have to vote on. So I think those are the correct follow-up requirements, that he has to comply with all the rules. And I think the minutes, I don't know if the minutes have to reflect that exactly. It's a requirement. When he came in, that he had to follow the bylaws or ask for a waiver. That answer the questions?
To clarify, I was just really asking, that in the last meeting that specific next steps were requested that I would assume would be in this meeting, and I didn't see those specific next steps listed, for this particular.
If he comes in here and asks for a continuance, that's the next step. There's nothing to tell.
Okay.
So I really have to wait till the presentation. And sometimes we get today, a peer review, or the year answer to our peer review. It's all ongoing, so I don't know if I can give you that kind of definitive in the process.
Okay, thank you very much.
We're still in the middle, unfortunately.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, minutes. So is there a motion on the minutes to reflect any changes? Is there a motion?
Is that on 10:28 minutes or?
No, it's 10:14 minutes. I think it was on the 11:14, wasn't it? Whatever the minutes were.
It was 10:14.
10:4.
Motion to approve.
All right, and the amendment would be to insert that full butters comments are available on the planning board list. Yeah. Do a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Very good report.
No.
Plans report.
As we have, you have some invoices for,
Yes, I'll sign them.
oh, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, three invoices.
I think one was for,
Yeah,
There was three peer reviews.
one, yeah, two peer review and one DUI.
to approve the 10:28 minutes as well.
There's actually no rules if we have to approve the very next meeting. We can, if you'd like to, if there's any discussion.
Yeah, it's there. Motion to approve.
That's
28 minutes.
Second for discussion.
Okay.
Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, so sit restricted, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Planners reports. What did I want to ask you about?
Well, I sent a couple, quick amendments to it via email today. Were there any questions on those?
I don't know if I read it.
Okay, I'll quickly summarize those then. The one I just sent out was just letting you all know that I've been in contact with a resident along Grove Street, who lives near the railroad crossing. Obviously, she's unhappy with the blaring of the horn that happens when they have to go over the crossing. So my office was able to contact the railroad. We asked if anything could be done. They have since switch what they do. So I think what they were doing was they were leaning on the horn or whatever it is that that makes it sound, the choo-choo. And, the,
You still like that when I was a kid?
you
I still do.
know, it was just a prolonged, sustained noise, right? So what they've done now is that they're doing like staccato little, beeps along the way, which is,
That's question.
They just installed the gates.
Yeah.
Does it, do they have to sound the horn with the gates as well?
they do. Yes, so, and that leads me to where this was kind of going, which, so she was, understandably upset. She's got an infant at home and nap times are difficult to schedule around the train schedule. And so my heart goes out to her, and for her own sleep for that matter. So she was, did her own research, found out that, you can, towns can implement what's referred to as quiet zones. And that's a federal designation, as the trains are all controlled by the feds, right? So the towns could apply for what's called a quiet zone. I was able to find out through kind of picking up from there that fortunately Franklin has done some initial research into this, because they have a lot of train stops in that town. So there's been interest in implementing quiet zones.
Nothing in Grafton. I know they had issues with the same railroad.
I'm not aware that they've done anything over there. I certainly hear it still.
Yeah, that issue came up already.
Yeah.
And so there's some record of how previous request for a quiet zone was resolved,
Yeah.
But we'd have to go back years. But I just wanted to let you know that.
I think it's like,
What does this have to do with us?
no, this is part of my planner support.
Oh,
So I was just letting you know what it was.
In case anybody asks.
I am just, yeah,
So anyway, I'm looking into quiet. This is a wrap. I'm looking into the quiet zones. It's going to cost money, obviously, as everything does, because the town is going to be required to make those upgrades. And so I'll just keep you informed as to if I make any headway with it.
can I ask a question out of curiosity? How often does the train pass the every day?
I think it's 2 or 3. Bring it to my own logical conclusion without involving the board or the select board in making a determination any which way. With the understanding that they've made improvements to that stop. There is a standard to which the crossings have to be brought up to, which include, all the arms, the stops, blinking lights. That once they upgrade to that point, towns can then apply for the quiet zone. So they've already made some of those. So I will find out if there's additional things that can be done, or if they've already done everything. So the fact that we can maybe just apply for the quiet zone. If not, again, it'll cost money. That's been the summation of that issue. So
Chair, I have another question. Is there any law about liability should there someone in an accident because the horn is not sounding
no
3
idea.
times a day?
If you're on the railroad track, you get hit by a train, well, the police chief's gonna be told, you have nothing to do with this. On the tracks, you get hit by a train. Or you're not involved. That's what the police chiefs get told when it's an accident on a train trip. On their business. Should have done it. All right, anything else?
No, it's what did you think of the question you had on the report?
Yeah, let's go through the, before we get, a little later in the public hearing, the A&R plans. We have, couple, 81Ps.
2, this first one is, your street.
No, it's just a quick, go and add it on to,
These are the-
engineer here.
He's on.
Go ahead.
0 East Street.
Yes. Is everybody on the line?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I am Jason Scott with Morse Engineering. The surveyor prepared the plan for my client, Tony Nader. He's interested in selling the property. There's a piece the neighbor at 79 East Street was interested in buying, so we show that as parcel A, and that's to be conveyed to 79 East Street. The remainder piece is, it's about 59, 60 acres. Some of that is wet, but the parcel conveyed is upland. It's just going to be joined with 79 East Street. That's pretty much the extent of the plan.
So
Any
there's no
questions?
additional lots, you're just adding parcel A on to this lot here,
That's correct.
right? With the $50, I think.
Yeah.
Any questions from the board? Looks fine. Any issues? You have the magic pen?
Oh, yeah.
Fine, one on time. Second one?
15 West Main.
Go through the list. It's on the front of the right now. Not in space. Then
It's a single seat.
common driveway is anyone here, but never said anything. I'm sorry. What is a common driveway process? Huh?
Special permit.
Right, so we have to go on, but we already have.
You have not yet, that's on the agenda for tonight, discussion.
Here, or just.
Public hearing.
Another we want to be.
That's the only other, and was there another one? Sorry,
Pretty sure it's not.
I think that was the only one.
I'm sorry.
15 West Main Park, pretty long.
Yeah,
Yeah, so this,
so, it's
are we waiting for? Oh,
I was confirming those are the only two guys. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we are ready to start. First up is 130 South Street, public hearing. Dinner subdivision for four lots. Is this, you have the, things.
Which one are we on? 130 South Street? This was already posted.
First continuation. So,
We have, applicant's engineer, Jim Sullivan of Curie and Belmont here. They submitted some response to some comments. You can get them yesterday. That should be in your packet for review. I think what's on this, the board will, you have obviously have, Stan Tech provided their peer review, and Gary and Helen also provided their response. Right, we have a response from peer review, can you?
Excuse me, John Federico is online as well. The response to peer review and the plan updates are forthcoming. What we sent in was response to our comments, I believe,
Yes.
and John's online if he wants to pick it up from there.
Yes, so our intention is to have all official submissions into Stantec's peer review a little bit later this week or early next week, as soon as the holiday's over. But make sure that we did take a look at all comments, particularly any. Not sure if that's anything you would like to go through at all, or if you would just like me to touch upon any of the ones that was specifically asked by the town to address on the. submit our waiver list with some justifications for that. Not sure if that's anything or if that will be kicked out to the next meeting.
Can you tell John that when he looks away from the screen, we can't hear him?
Oh, I do apologize about that. Which part was I cutting out on?
Every time you looked away from the screen, we couldn't hear you.
I completely apologize. So yes, just to quickly recap, we are planning to submit everything for peer review with stamped plans and calculations a little bit later this week or early next week after the Thanksgiving holiday. We did make sure, though, for this meeting that we did provide a butter comments to the town, specifically the ones that were asked to be addressed on the engineering side of things. Mike, not sure if you want to go over those in its entirety or just have us go through any specific ones that were asked of us. But we are going to be working with our wetland consultant on addressing the recent conservation comments we had. And we have also submitted for our waiver list and our justification letter. So if that's something that the board would like to go over tonight, we can, or if that's something that we'll have to wait for the next meeting, I'd be happy more to speak on anything on that behalf.
Interesting board. Personally, I'd like you to take your time and get these things right because I have lots of questions, but it's going to take a while. For instance, you've got this, our engineer said that slopes steeper than 3 to 1 and no retaining wall detail. Our bylaw is 4 to 1. Anything that's steeper than 4 to 1 is what we could be addressing. Is that correct?
I believe you're right.
So that's why I'd like to review our engineer's comments as well as you review them.
Mr. Chairman, just the document you're holding right now is G&H's response to the abutter comments that were submitted. Their formal response to Stantec's comments will be coming. That's not in yet. I would think that the board is most interested in hearing the response to Stantec's comments before moving forward with anything.
Because the question and the response both listed 3 to 1, and that's not our regulation.
I'll double check. But also I would defer to what's in the Stantec review.
Okay. But any thoughts about going over all of the technical details at one time instead of piecemealing at this meeting and next meeting? All right, I want to keep going, please.
I'm sorry, you were breaking up there. I apologize.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Is that it?
Sure. Right, Sean, I think that's all you wanted to cover?
Yeah, if there's anything else that you'd like to add, Jim, feel free to. Again, if there's any particular questions, right, I'm more than happy to answer anything specific, including the revisions that will be submitted to the town.
Mr. Chairman, for clarity, because I know John was asking about the waiver, so they submitted an updated waiver request today. I think it's been the board's practice to go over the waivers at the time of rendering a vote.
Right.
Okay, so
And the reason for that is there's no sense granting a waiver until we've gotten all the information. And often the most valuable information comes from the public meeting with the neighborhood. So no waivers before we get everybody's input. Makes sense. All right, so you want to continue this to our next meeting, or you want to give us a month? What's your feeling?
the 9th or the 23rd.
9th of the 23rd.
So excuse me if I may, so it's the 9th, we need information back next week, probably, right?
That'd be best, yeah.
Yeah. So I believe we will have information back, Stantec's replies and such. But I don't know whether they'd have a reply back if we get something out next.
I'm fine with that, but my experience says that around these holidays times, you've got to give yourself another couple of weeks.
That's why I missed
the weather, with the weather and people going on vacations, it's just not it's better to push out a couple weeks if you can.
That's fine. Thank you.
What would you like to do in the case of, so they get comments back to you, responding to Stantec. If there are unresolved matters, do you want that to come back here before you send it back to Stantec?
Yes, because it may just be an engineer's opinion. It's an opinion. It may be something that planning boards have the authority because it's, yours says 40 years, this one says 45 years of pipe lasting. They're recommending something that's, I'll be around to see.
So do we,
Will.
are you recommending moving it out to the next meeting and come or not come?
I'm recommending the month.
Okay.
Give us a month for the back and forths.
I'm fine with either. My concern was just whether or not, like, the board just immediately wanted Stantec to review again upon you submitting something, or if it wanted to come here first.
Okay.
So but whether it's the 9th or the 23rd, doesn't matter to me, Mr. Chairman.
I would recommend the 23rd. Any comments on that? Thanks. Either this is the 23rd at 7:10. Of,
And Mr. Chairman, I would just ask from Mr. Sullivan that if you could provide us a written extension of all the timelines and construction grant deadline to, if we're pushing it to the 23rd, I mean, at least to December 31st.
yes. Okay with everybody? All right, thank you very much. That was a public hearing, so we will send that public hearing, in public hearing and reopen the regular scheduled meeting, which is a special permit for common driveway, 15 West Main Street. Anybody here representing the applicant?
Yes, sir.
Go right ahead.
Travis Crown with Turning Point Engineering. Got the green cards here in my hand that I can give to Mike.
Please. Thank you, and let us know if any questions. Please follow up. Thank you. Yes, much. Have a good night. Yes, we are familiar with Grubb.
So, yep, was in last time, little snafu with the green cards. Obviously, the abutters have now been notified. As I mentioned at the last meeting, we did go to the ZBA, got 3 variances, based on discussions at our preliminary meeting with you folks. That was the avenue that we had to take. We're gonna grant the waiver for the deviation the regulations. So we got those waivers from ZBA. This went out to peer review to DGT Associates. We have since addressed all of their comments. I was able to talk through those with Mike. Seems to be everything's addressed on the plans. I'm happy to go through all of that letter, specific aspects of that letter. Whatever the board wishes. So as we had stated in the application, looking for a special permit for a common drive. So we're proposing essentially 1 additional lot on the original A&R that you folks signed. It's lot 2 and lot 5. Those lots are being revised, getting lot 6. So to provide access to these 3 lots, we're going to utilize a common driveway, meets all the requirements of the regulations. This would save the existing house, which was a big talking point in our preliminary talks. We first engaged town residents and butters. So that existing house and the barn, even as in rough shape as that barn is, will be preserved.
All right, so first question would be, all right, lot 1. Lot 2 is you have frontage, but it's coming off. You're gonna have to drive off the common driveway. Lot 6 comes all the way over here, and this is your frontage for 6, right?
Yeah.
And at no point does your lot narrow to 80% of the required width, so you're okay with the width. You're just gonna access that there. You don't have a cul-de-sac, you're gonna use a T.
Yep, the hammerhead. That complies with the DA requirements. We also got the captain to sign off on that at this.
Good, conservation, you got a lot of wetlands, but this is an E, I'm not sure,
That has actually been approved too.
okay. Easements, are there any easements that are on the deed that you don't show here?
Or not. So the only easement is the easement we're creating for the common driveway, so.
You got all the tables, your, surveyor stamp. You got your cross section, you got your focus, you got your notes. Find me. Don't like common drivers. Understood. They cause problems. Everybody should, in the front, you should really need to what, but we have this in here because we do. But I think it's, unless you're very friendly people. Neighbors have been very friendly, everybody's happy, they plow, they get together with the plow. And
It will be a homeowners association, so all that will be taken care of.
During the driveway for 30 years.
Look, it's because of you. And the only other thing is making sure our largest emergency vehicle can get up to the last house and turn around. Get up.
Yep, and we asked them that question, they were satisfied.
Any issues? There a motion to approve the application?
Make sure to open it to.
Mike, got that right?
Yeah.
I think it's open up to anybody that has a question. Mike, and also on line. Any questions from? Yeah. Anybody online? Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the common driveway as?
Motion to approve common driveway.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Where does it go next? Building department?
Yeah, it's already got the zoning board approvals as was detailed. This was a special permit to allow for the use of the common driveway, which you're poised to approve. And then this is the 81P that you'll, I assume, endorse.
And we send it to the, it still goes to the assessors. I don't think there's a change in evaluation or assessors value, but you send it to them
I mean, they'll get it and they'll assess it as
and
appropriate.
it goes to the town clerk. We keep, well, right.
Yes,
That's it.
so yeah, then just building permit.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This is a public hearing?
Yeah.
Then I should close the public hearing, reopen the regularly scheduled meeting. That's the vote. Vote can only take place in the regularly scheduled meeting. It can't take place during the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Back.
Oh, and so I'll work to, so we need a decision document because it's a special permit, so I'll work with Lauren as a decision document written up. Do you want to, it's been a while since we've done one, vote on the document itself at your next meeting? Or not vote necessarily, but review and approve before you endorse the decision document? I think that's what we've done in the past.
So you can do the decision, we'll just certify the vote, we have the vote. And just do the decision and we'll just do that into the minutes. Yeah. Okay, take the vote and this vote was taken and we'll approve that act taken next.
Yeah, perfect. So I'll have the decision document ready for next time. And then after that, it's, I mean, as you know, it's, I'll get it recorded with the 20-day.
We basically break it up into two sections. One is to approve the plan and the next is to approve that decision document.
Sure.
Okay.
You want to hold that until the town clerk signs it?
Yeah, Bill's normal food and content.
Do you want to hold on to the A&R plan until the clerk does anything?
I don't have a preference.
Yeah, then no.
Very
But you don't have to change our minds.
If you,
No, I don't think-
if you let us have it.
So that's closed and reopen the regular scheduled meeting and then we're going to suspend the meeting and open up East Street Estates. East Street Estates, what do we got?
Yep, Jim Sullivan is
Yep,
also.
Ralph and John will hopefully face the camera and give you some updates.
So for the record, John Federico with Career and Home on East Street Estates. Based on some feedback that we had received at the last planning board meeting, we will be looking to remove the two A&R lots from our plan. That will be reflected on any future revisions that will be submitted back to Stantec and to the board. In addition to
What
that,
John said is we had, John, you're not breaking up, so you can speak up beyond me as necessary.
Sure.
What John said is, we talked a little bit about the frontage lots that exist on East Street. There were two of them that would need frontage as A&Rs. And we are going to be removing them from the subdivision filing.
I had questioned that last time, because they, if they need to be included because of some formula of open space or that, then they probably want to amend, but if you're unrelated and you have the right for the connected square footage and restrictions without those can go ahead on today.
I appreciate that, and that, we believe that to be the case. We'll obviously confirm that and be confident, when we submit. What John's going to tell you in a minute is we have updated some plans and submitted, but we'll be revising those plans as we go forward, I'm sure. And likely the A&R lots will be reflected.
They don't need to subdivision control. We completely agree. They're required, they want something else other than
Area of square footage, open space.
yes.
Thank you. John, you want to keep going?
sure. So I believe Jim had mentioned that we have received our updated peer review. So we will be looking to get those comments addressed. Some outstanding comments or new comments from that peer review letter were regarding borings to be taken along the proposed retaining wall and wetland crossing. On November 12th, I did attend a conservation meeting and was able to get a positive go-ahead from the commission members and from Mary, the agent, on being able to conduct test pits at Basin 2 as well as the Basin 4 forebay. And that will also allow us to get the borings completed as requested in the most recent Stantec review. We have submitted our waiver list at the request of the last meeting with justifications. Presentation on safety improvements, the crosswalk for East Street, and any signage that we will be proposing with that.
Yeah, I want to go through the way, yeah.
Yep. So we'd like to just show you, we talked about of not doing open space, and then there's some discussion / suggestions about possible safety improvements to the immediate area. Excuse me. And John has an exhibit plan that he could share. I don't have it with me, but we contemplated some possible alternatives, and one of those was a crosswalk at the end of this proposed subdivision, crossing the street towards the Applewood subdivision. So John, did you forward that to Michael, or is that something you'd look to share?
I can do a share on that. I don't believe I had forwarded to Mike before the meeting. I apologize about that.
That's fine. Just send it to me after if we can share.
Let me just pull that up right now. One moment.
basically what we're proposing is a crosswalk at the end of this development, again, across East Street, with the ability to press a button to have flashing lights blink to say pedestrian crossing type of thing. Obviously, it would flash in both directions and allow for locals to cross East Street in what we believe to be a safer arrangement. And that's a crosswalk directly from one side of East Street to the other at a 90-degree cut, if you would, of the street. I don't know if John has that plan or not. It looks like what I just described. We had it shared, John.
I did share it. I don't see it on my screen. I don't know if you folks can see it on yours.
There we go. Now we can, thank you.
Okay, perfect.
So I'll just point it out, John, now while
Sure.
I'm here, but basically, here's the proposed road over here. Here's Rockwood, where we have them lined up, as we discussed a couple of meetings ago. So it is a proposed crosswalk, handicap ramp here, proposed crosswalk with two signages, one sign facing in one direction, another sign facing in another direction with the ability to blink when you press the button to be able to cross in daytime or nighttime. I'm sure you've seen those around in other parts of the community or
The
community.
civilized areas of the state.
Yeah, in those bigger communities, let's just say. So this is one of our, what we believe an alternative to be considered for a safety enhancement of the area. The parking area up from Rockwood for the trail, excuse me if I'm not remembering the name of the trail, but there is the parking up the road out of the photo, out of the picture. And that would give, people in this neighborhood to go that way, people in this neighborhood to go that way. I know this is a private road, but that potentially might not be. And that was one of our thoughts on that.
You're just gonna be walking on the side of the street to get up to the parking lot?
That's correct. Currently, there is no sidewalk on East Street, and the pavement and the right of way are shown here. So we did not propose a sidewalk because there's no sidewalk anywhere at this point on East Street. So. And that was one of the safety enhancements we were considering.
Through the chair, what is the difference, the distance between the crosswalk and the parking area? Roughly.
You can find that.
I would guess 140 feet, but that's literally a swag, if you would.
Close enough though. It's not 500 feet or it's not 50 feet.
Also, the side.
That was discussed.
Yep. What?
It's dangerous.
Yeah, I've walked it, it's very dangerous.
So there we go. This is the parking area right here. Oh, I'm sorry, let me share this, sorry.
About that. I did stop sharing on my end, if that helps, Mike.
Thanks. So I don't know if folks online can see my cursor, but you can see in the middle of the screen here, you can see that parking lot area. To the south of that is I don't know if it's called a community center for Rockwood Meadows or not, but it's part of Rockwood Meadows. And this is the driveway. The access is immediately, access or proposed new road for Eastern Estates is directly across from Rockwood Meadows. And so if just measuring from Rockwood Meadows Drive, point to point is 400 about.
Through the chair, why are we not considering sidewalks? I mean, from everything I've heard at these meetings, the traffic along East Street nowadays is pretty fast and it's pretty extensive. So why are we not looking at sidewalks?
We haven't discussed that in detail, reasons we would waive. One of the reasons that we came up with was that it is a potential so that for this particular subdivision to waive it inside, and the reason would be that they're doing this. Do they need a sidewalk? Probably. Is that going to be one of our requirements? We haven't voted on it. We haven't talked about it. But if it needs a sidewalk to be safe, then that's gonna be part of a waiver request. So, yeah, we'll agree to it, but we need to put a sidewalk. You may hear that. We haven't voted on that.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I think it's completely okay to ask the applicant if they're able to work with the town to provide that. As
okay.
part of-
I
but
think,
I would want to ask town council first before putting that condition into a decision.
all right, because I'm, the way I do things is, you don't have to accept your waiver request, and we can just say no, in the open space that you submit.
That's of course, you have
That's
that.
cruel. So,
So this area is very odd in terms of where Hopkinton are. Is,
So it looks, you can see it's hard, you see these like double lines.
Yeah.
But
I
on
think we
this,
go into Hopkinton.
yeah, I think you do.
on this line, so that's a part of the issue here as well.
Oh, where is the Hopkinton? Is it-
Hopkinton line is, so correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the community center is in Hopkinton. But or at least that's the way it's shown on this map. This is Mass Mapper. So you got these double lines, right? These are just overlapping incorrect lines that haven't been joined and married in the GIS system. So it's just duplicates of lines that are appearing differently.
is that 2 different years of the,
Well, it's just, it's Hopkinton systems not blending perfectly with
okay.
Upton systems. And so you have the Hopkinton town line as shown here in this area that kind of cuts into Rockwood Meadows on that side of East Street, and then ending and heading due east across that site.
where's the town line on the road?
It's basically is the road as it's shown here. Upton begins and ends on the easterly side of East Street. And then I think, John, the plan you were showing showed those lines a bit differently, so I'm unsure of
Yes,
which one.
I can pull that back up, but
Yeah.
essentially from what I'm looking at on my end here, the easternmost purple line that you're seeing there is what is relatively close to what we're calling our town line on our plans. And where it breaks at the driveway entrance, I am not 100% sure. Unfortunately, it is not fully clear on our plan as it's kind of tapering off in a northerly direction. But if you would like, I can share that just so everybody can see that.
Sure, let me stop sharing.
That's one of the reasons I'm cautious about this, we don't have all the facts, we don't even know.
Yeah,
What yet, so.
and if I may, I was gonna say that to Mike's point, to look at it, consider it, the width of the right of way, the ability to put a sidewalk and have a grass strip, or no grass strip. There is no curbing on the road. So you put the sidewalk, how does that, how does that work as you know? So I don't know the answer to that.
And Mr. Chairman, if I can add to that, and this is also why I've been trying to connect both John and Jim with the appropriate contact over at Rockwood Meadows, because as you can see, it might, sending people over to that side will possibly implicate their property line as well.
So why not keep it on
Well,
the applicant side?
well, let's look at what we own first. There's a center line, and there's a paved surface, and there's a right of way. If that's a 50-foot taking, and if it's not on file, it's a 50-foot taking, then that road is not more than 6 feet wide. There's plenty of room to put a sidewalk on both sides if we have a 50-foot right of way.
As we've shown it, presumably accurate, property line running here, edge of pave here, edge of pave here. So right of way line, right of way line, right of way line, right of way line. You can see on this side, could be close to the edge. And again, this is approximate pavement. We didn't survey this whole road.
But
so-
is 3.5 feet, I mean, I think we say 4 feet, but is 3.5 feet okay if you have to squeeze in just to get people to walk through it?
Yeah,
Those are the ones.
correct. It's potentially possible. And again, it's without the curbing, how do we want it to work collectively? If you walk on grass or if you're walking on bituminous sidewalk without curbing, you're still on the edge of the road. Anyway,
But curbing's mostly for drainage, so
I'm not suggesting one or the other. We've just kicked it around. And if I may, I thought at the last meeting, we did talk about possibly putting the sidewalk going this way down towards the A&R lots. There was some dialogue about that as well, to answer what I thought was some discussion from the last time about a sidewalk.
Another consideration could be sidewalk to a point just beyond the clubhouse where it turns into field, and then just run a trail from that point to the parking lot and the trails.
Bill, through the chair, I was sort of thinking the same thing, which is why I was trying to put them in contact with Rockwood Meadows to see if something could be coordinated.
Yeah, well, I've seen there's some, and I've already seen that the Hopkinton Area Land Trust has already mentioned in communications, because they would control, right? They're responsible for managing conservation restriction that is on that plan. And so that may or may not permit an additional trail. It is, however, still Rockwood Meadows land, and, so the homeowners association got to say anything as well.
Chair, I have one more question. In past conversations on this topic, we had talked about traffic studies. And I know there's been traffic studies focusing on car traffic in the intersection with Hopkinton Road. Has there been a traffic study as how it would impact pedestrians along that, speed of cars and that type of thing?
no, they'd only be checking intersections. Our traffic studies are just to go to the end and they go to both sides and they check how many people went on each side. They wouldn't be looking at the width of the
And
roadway.
there's no way that the town can do anything to look at
Yes,
speed and traffic.
yes. In fact, the town of Hopkinton, the town of Upton, and the owner across the street can all get involved and help out. If it's gonna be a benefit to the town, then the town should be involved.
Mr. Chair, I believe CMRPC is slated to do traffic counts on East Street next year as a part of regular counting maintenance.
And that's not, is that going to include speed? Is that going to include?
I don't think they do speeds. I'll double check. I know it's traffic counts for sure.
I mean, it might be interesting to talk to the police department because they do have those.
They do three stages. Police, they first they'll put up the sign, that's how fast you're going. Eventually, they just put it there. And
Can they track it though to see what the speeds are of somebody?
yes, they track the speeds of the car, but they don't.
But not, but because,
They don't realize.
so they don't look, see if it's a safety issue.
I'm not up on all the literal bells and whistles that they have for crosswalks, and pedestrian safety, those things. But obviously what Mr. Sullivan had mentioned of the button that you press and then there's the flashing yellow light for the pedestrian crossing, that's obviously something that is specifically geared towards safety to address that, something like that. I would imagine that traffic engineer, were we to get them involved, would tell us the same thing. Maybe they'd offer more suggestions. I don't know.
Besides lights and signage, there's not much on the road you can do.
It's speed bumps, speed bumps.
Yeah, speed bumps I mean, they're effective. What I find is that, and we're not talking about it seriously, but I've heard that residents don't like them because they have to listen to cars hitting bumps.
That's it. Now, what about street painting?
Painting?
That would require a regular colored script.
Sure.
Paint it along with the light.
There's ways you can do forms of a road diet, we'll say, and narrow the travel path to create a visual traffic calming mechanism that, like, when you create a narrower path, it forces people to go slower.
For the groups, I mean, I always jump when I go to the part of
The road paths.
in the roads. And, it's like, they put me into road routes now. And it's like, I go over my oceans.
But simply put, if you want a waiver of open space inside it, give us a safe and accessible path. Area where they can be. Open space isn't for it's suitable. Not residents.
Understood.
So it's, if you can't get them a park or playground inside, then you think something suitable for that similar activity. Somewhere.
Okay, we'll investigate a little more about potential sidewalk leading to a path or some fencing thereof. We'll reach out again to the association.
Is there anything we can help you with reaching out to either Hopkinton or Upton or property on?
We'll discuss with the team and I'll get back to Mike if necessary if we need additional contacts and see if we can set a meeting up with 3 parties, maybe the 10.
I'll reach out to town planner Hopkinton, just give him a heads up on it.
Lots of people from Rockwood Meadows, that I think are on this call, maybe they can reach out to the homeowner association, hasn't been engaged with, they can.
Like from Rockwood Meadows that would like to go about. Good to volunteer about other things if you like that.
I think,
Jim, did you go over the other question regarding the frontage?
no, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't,
You want to?
yes. So for, John mentioned it earlier, but we are gonna do some additional, drainage testing that Stantec recommended in the borings that they recommend. So that'll be forthcoming, over the next X number of weeks and get back that data to Stantec. So just,
Now, how are you going to handle the removal of the 2 lots?
what we suggested internally was the next set of updated plans. We're going to update all our tables, all of our math, and just remove those, and then come back before you with A&Rs, because the client already owns that land. We'll just take it out of the plan.
My only advice there is don't sell those 2 frontage lots before you get something to improve. You're just gonna have 2 more homeowners that are gonna be on.
My clients work fast. I'm not sure they'll work that fast. I have a question, if I may, using this as an exhibit. It has to do with straight line frontage. It come up on the E Street comments.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yep.
This is not East Street he's showing. This is just a proxy.
So,
Yeah.
thank you. So I was before you a couple months ago with an A&R, and the chair specifically looked for the straight line frontage for a particular lot. What was the straight line? And so we read the rules and regulations over, and there's a couple of different sections on it. But it talks about straight line frontage. When there's a curve on the road, use a chord for the straight line.
Mhm.
My basic question is, in this particular, lot right here, is multiple chords. Is that acceptable? 1, 2 chords. So those are straight line measurements.
We've got a lot line and you got a lot line along the street. It's a straight chord from lot line to lot line.
So the fact that there's any bend in the road, if this is a lot down here and it's got,
Well, bends in the road like a cul-de-sac,
nope, 70% for the cul-de-sac.
you know what that, how will we interpret that?
Go
The
for it.
whole reason for it?
So I can't get 3 lots on it.
Make it 3 lots in the back. So along the line, 100 feet is 70 feet. So,
We understand that clearly.
so you can add up, if it's a straight line frontage, you can add this up.
So again, can I add this straight line and that straight line for my total versus that point to that point? As an example, when the actual frontage is 242, the calculated frontage using the 2 pieces of the chord is 240. There's a difference of about 2 feet. So anyway, my simple question really is, if there are multiple straight lines, can I add them up for frontage, or is it one continuous straight line?
It's a straight line, lot line to lot line, and the reason is so that we don't get a thing along a curve, so that we don't add frontage along a curve. The only thing that we don't get straight line is a cul-de-sac, so it's lot line to lot line. So if it's 4 feet, you'd have to go to the beginning of the curve.
Yeah, okay. So in all cases, unless it's a completely straight line, if there's any bend in the road whatsoever, it's point to point, is what you're saying.
That's the only way we can keep the 240 in line, because there's a big curve and a little curve, we're gonna have different frontage.
Right, and that's what the case is here. In both cases, it's 240, but it's just,
I'd be hesitant to, do anything other than just make a straight line, one side or the other.
So-
I mean,
That's when we changed the bylaw a couple of years ago, right? Because it was in the,
yeah, there's one segment that talks about a straight chord. It doesn't talk about one and only straight chord. It talks about straight chord. And that's where I read an interpretation differently and wanted some clarity.
oh, well, that's what we've always done.
One line.
One line. For one number on it. Don't make us add it up.
I think you've answered my questions.
All right, is that it? Any questions on anybody, online?
Yeah. Simple question.
Go ahead. Identify yourself and
How are you? My name is Matthew Gutwill. Again, I spoke to you guys last time in regards to the sidewalk and East Street. And the property that you guys are considering waiving out for open space, is that in Hopkinton or is that in Upton?
within the subdivision. And up,
Well, by allowing them to do a sidewalk or allow them to cross the street, you're considering a waiver to allow him to use that open space, correct, across the street?
if what he presents is in the best interest of the town, then he needs votes to get that, but he hasn't presented it yet.
So my
Yes,
question
yes.
is that open space in Hopkinton or is in Upton? That parking lot and the walking area, is that Hopkinton or Upton?
I think that's hot.
That is Hopkinton, but it connects to substantial property in Upton.
So but if it's in Hopkinton, how can you consider a waiver in another town as an exemption for them?
Because if he did it according to what I'm hearing, it would be in the best interest of the town and the town of Hopkinton and the neighbor across the street to have a pathway from the subdivision up into our town property.
But
Yes,
you're-
you go through Hopkinton to get there. But if he gets all the approvals, and we'll vote on that, but that
Is
hasn't
that-
happened.
But is that Upton town property or is it Hopkinton town property?
Both.
Simple question. Is it Hopkinton property or Upton property?
Simple answer, it's both.
Where is it both? When we looked at the property line where that parking lot is and then the wooded area behind that, that's all Hopkinton, correct?
Do you agree that it starts in Upton?
The parking lot, I don't agree
No,
that,
this
I don't
side,
agree, looking at the map.
the sidewalk, you agree that
Oh,
it starts?
see, you're getting confused. So I don't believe that a town can consider for open space in another town. I think the waiver request should be denied because that's in Hopkinton. The open space they want to use is in Hopkinton. We are required by the Upton bylaws and Upton rules to maintain an open space in our own community. So
Then
how
do
do you
you,
consider
sir, how do you
waiving
explain,
for
excuse me a
another
minute.
city or town?
Excuse me a minute, sir. How do you explain planning board's requirements that open space go to the state forest? That it's okay for a subdivision to put something next to anything state-owned or federal land?
Well, if you look at the law, I believe the law is pretty diverse a little bit on it, but it clearly states that a city or town should not consider another town for your open space waiver.
So they want to get a path into the state forest. We're saying you don't have, that's not good?
No, you can give them the path, but you have to require them to conform to your open space rules, I believe.
Can I clarify? Sir, the lot that you're talking about is in Hopkinton, but it gives you access to Peppercorn Hill, which is in Upton.
We're showing that on the map because I'm fairly new to this. I'm fairly new to the town. So when I looked at your map, you're showing everything's in Hopkinton.
The sidewalk would bring you to the lot that happens to be in Hopkinton, but that lot gives access to trails that go into Upton to the conservation area, Peppercorn Hill.
Is that lot that you're now addressing, is that their open space right there that you're waiving? That you're considering waiving, not saying you're waiving it, that you're considering to waive?
We're not considering that open space. We're considering that access to open space. Both the crosswalk, the driveway, the sidewalk, the crosswalk, and the access through Hopkinton is access to open space. It would be waiving an open space inside the subdivision because they can provide access to an open space area much larger than the 4 acres that we'd require inside.
In
And
another,
we have-
in another community? In Hopkinton, really, right?
Can I jump in for a second?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for, and I appreciate the gentleman's comments, the planning boards have wide discretion in implementing your planning board rules and regulations when it comes to subdivisions, right?
Yeah.
The subdivision control law grants you the ability to promulgate your own rules and regulations when approving subdivisions, which is what you're doing here tonight, reviewing one of those subdivisions. In your local regulations, you have a open space requirement. You have the ability, as has been requested by the applicant, to waive that portion of your regulations. So you have the ability to, even if you weren't being provided something else, to say, you know what, we don't think and having open space as a part of this subdivision
Is in the best
benefits
interest of
the
the
town
town.
in any way.
Benefit of the town.
And you could just waive it without getting anything in return. You are not contemplating that here. Here you are contemplating waiving that requirement in exchange for access to something else in town that would benefit the town.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Does that make?
It does. I also do want you to reconsider, I do want you to consider and you guys have talked about a lot, the dangerousness. That is, there's the sun that shines right on that road. That is a very bad spot for a crosswalk right on that spot there. And you may have to move that up closer on the other side of the street for the private road, because it's a terrible spot. Sun coming on there in the morning, and in the evening, we have some trouble there.
All right, well, thank you. One of the reasons we don't vote on waivers is we need to hear input from folks just like you. So thank you very much. Anything else? The next step on this?
You should entertain a request to continue, subject to getting the input of the various things you talked about tonight already. So
How long do we need?
1 month,
Range,
next first step.
motion to,
so you want to do the 23rd or you want to do January? We could just do the 23rd and
We do 23rd. If we feel week before we're incomplete, I'll let you know, Mike.
is that acceptable to them?
without objection, we will continue this public hearing until December 23rd at 7:30, 7:20. Whatever the schedule is.
And then again, I would ask for the same things, right, in writing the extensions.
Yes. I have to call meetings over, you know, want to do that. Okay, so let's, that is, we'll reopen our regularly scheduled meeting.
But did you vote, I'm sorry, did you vote to continue it already?
Yes, this is without objection.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No objection. There you go.
So that's 23rd, okay.
Earlier in the year.
Yes, we have to. Yeah, good. All right, next is 6 to 8 Rose Street. Step filing for a site plan. That's the road area, isn't that with the, put up a 3-story and bringing out the other?
And we have, Mark, are you on for this?
I am, yes. Yes.
Okay, why don't you talk us through it? Hello?
Hi, Mark Allen, Allen Engineering, here representing David Claro of J. Casa Corporation. David purchased the property at 6 to 8 Grove Street back in March of this year. Conversations with the town and formal conversations with the Conservation Commission. We have prepared a site plan application for the property to do a couple of things. One is to improve the overall access and parking to the Rushford and Sons Brewery, as well as knock down the 2 residential homes on the property and create or build a new 3-story multi-use building. And that multi-use building is going to be consist of office space and 5 residential units. We have supplied the planning board with the required material consisting of a narrative, an application, full site design plans, architectural elevations, stormwater drainage report, a butters list, and the fee of $1,349 for the application fee. In lieu of not having a public hearing tonight, I think tonight is more of acceptance of the site plan application and hopefully deeming it complete, and hopefully then therefore setting a public hearing for the public.
Yeah, just to emphasize what Mark just said, this is your typical initial review of the filing to hope deem it complete and then schedule the public hearing.
We were aware of this when we just, was the last meeting we discussed this, or 2 meetings ago?
Honestly, I forget.
But yeah, he came in and asked us questions and explained that he was going to tear down the building and put up.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Yes, that was
Maybe over the summer.
And that it was in the center district, which is good, so they got mixed use, and you'd be able to get better use of the property, better parking for the brewery. It seemed like a good idea.
Yeah, Mr. Claro came before your board, I'm going to say in July or August of this year, without us, prior to us doing a engineering study and surveying and wetland identification. So yeah, he got some good positive feedback locally. And now we're at that next step of fully engineered drawings and construction level plans.
If you think you're ready for a public hearing, we can set one tonight.
Love to. We've had one at conservation, so we gotten our comments back from DEP. So what I would like to do is A, set a public hearing, and then B, run both permits concurrently so that we can address any and all comments through both conservation and planning, so we don't duplicate efforts.
Say that again?
Yes, I would like to set a public hearing tonight. Yes, please.
All right, we can set the public hearing. What's a good date for the public hearing? How long we need to have this?
The 23rd is the earliest that we can advertise for them.
All right, so the 23rd of December?
Yeah.
All right, so is there discussion and motion to set the 23rd as a public hearing date for this?
Motion to set the hearing, 23rd.
Second.
All right, discussion. All right, so we're going to set the vote is unanimous to set the public hearing for the 23rd.
We should hopefully, Mr. Chairman, have peer review comments in by then. I think we've already reached out to DGT for an estimate on peer review.
Yeah, the things that I'm personally going to be concerned about is the access, because there's going to be doing the bridge work. And you'll have to let us know, and the town let us know when that's all happening so that we can schedule that. And the neighbors. We got to see what the neighbors have to say. It seems like a good idea in a good place, so see what happens. Any other questions?
Just a question on notification to Lauren and Michael. Is that something that you folks do, or do you need us to do that for the public notification or the abutter notification?
We send the notification to you, and you notify the abutters.
Okay, great. Thank you.
That is. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is that it?
We got one more.
Oh, 47 Mechanic Street. We got to that. That looks familiar.
Yeah.
We're hoping it would be familiar when we got here. So familiar that we also thought it would be a good idea prior to submitting anything and committing ink to paper to actually talk to you about what it is.
Save a lot of money. In the past, it saved a lot of people a lot of time.
I think so. You learn a lot when you're having a conversation, particularly when there's no public hearing.
When you do anything, don't you wish you knew at the beginning of the project?
It's true. Sometimes you carry that over to some next project, but you know, that doesn't always work out either.
But just
But-
before he starts the chair, I'd like to go on the record if you can see yourself.
You can stay right here.
Obviously, I'm planning to all the time.
Okay.
So we're, I don't think we're in a position where anyone has to recuse themselves. We're just, we're here. And, you know, among the things that we want to, of course, I mean, just what by way of summary, once upon a time, we had 3 applications before this board, 2 large lot frontage reduction, special permit applications and the common driveway. And we got some good feedback from you and from other board members with respect to that, including a general disfavor. It seemed the idea of having 2 large lots, you know, coming from the same property. And then with respect to one of our lots, not having our access come over our frontage. So we think that we have learned from that experience. And we really do appreciate it. And,
Before you go on, one of my biggest problems was when you put in a common driveway, you have to go down just like the road. You go in over gas. You have to qualify for a certain section of that bylaw working on thing. It's a nightmare. And so that bothered me with the common drive. The idea was fine, but it was,
but it was a challenge. Right, so we understand that. So, you know, we learned from that. So what we wanted to do is to come here to show you what we had in mind to deal with this. And then to talk to you about the other challenge that we have, which is the composition of the board and whether the board, we're going to be able to get before a board that will be satisfactory in number to.
I have some good news for you.
I think I don't know, but I can figure it out.
At the end of this meeting, we're going to vote to send to the selectmen our vote on the associate member. Make decision, and the selectmen will then vote. They will, just, you know, add the total up, and they'll make the determination of who won. And then the selectmen do the appointing of the member. And that should happen relatively quickly.
That is very good news. I'm not here alone, by the way. Mark Allen, as you know, is the engineer on the project, and Amy may or may not be here. I'm not necessarily seeing her up there. I know she wasn't feeling well, so she may have opted to take care of herself.
We caused that reaction.
He wasn't here. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, Mark's going to show you the plan. I brought them in paper just in case we had technology problems. So if anyone wanted to see them, they could see them. But here's the one thing that I want to say. I think when you see this plan, what you're going to see is that, you know, Amy Meller is someone who is very interested in being a very good neighbor here and providing you with plans that is really minimally intensive. But I'll turn things over to Mark.
Yeah, thank you, Neil. Is my screen being shared? Can everybody see that plan on the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, yeah, as Neil indicated, Amy has taken all of the feedback and has realized, you know, that she just, you know, wants to get her residence here in Upton so that she can be closer to her family again. She's renovating number 47, is staying there now. Her intent is to get a large lot frontage reduction lot in the rear. And this lot would do that. And then she's going to keep or segment off the remaining land in the rear of the portion of the property to the tune of about, I believe it's about 13 or 14 acres. So it's a significant reduction in scope from the previous application. The previous application, as Neil just mentioned, was two large lot frontage reductions and a common driveway. So she has tapered that back to just having one new residence. And we're hoping that, you know, this informal discussion, if you will, prior to another public hearing, we can get at least some straw vote or general sense of goodwill from the planning board on this application, you know, that's going to be filed with you shortly, and to make sure that we have the adequate number of votes, or at least voting members. I did not hear the discussion earlier. Did I hear that there may be another planning board member appointed in the very near future?
I believe so.
Great. Right.
It would be within time for this submittal, yes.
The time of a public hearing after a submittal as well.
Right.
Correct.
And associate members should be online before the end of the year.
Super. That'd be great. So yeah,
Now,
that's.
But
it
if
in a
there are
nutshell.
two, that recuse, that leaves you with the need for unanimous decision of 4 votes.
Yes.
So you do have your driveway on the lot, right? That's accessing through its frontage, correct?
It would, yes.
And it does cross over the gas line, but it's a driveway, not a roadway, so you just have to, you would be digging down, is that correct?
Correct.
It's nice, yeah. Are there any wetlands associated on that property?
No, there'll be no wetland resources on the property itself. There'd be buffer zones to it. A lot of the discussion from the previous applications was to bump that lot line closer to the house, which Amy has agreed to do so as to keep her land high and dry.
Right, the remaining land that you have, we are not allowed to landlock a parcel. There has to be a 50-foot right of way somewhere to that back land.
Even if
I'm
it's
not-
easement. Even if
I'm not
it's-
familiar with that.
We're not, planning boards can't landlock a parcel without providing, like, usually it's at the end of a cul-de-sac, we'll put a 50-foot on paper. It's just a paper easement right away or undeveloped land. We're not supposed to landlock it. So you'd need some sort of a, Jay, you can check this out, but you need some sort of a right of way to the undeveloped property.
Yeah, we'll absolutely look into that prior to application.
Questions from? Yeah, it's much more palette stuff, nothing we're supposed to discourage. In fact, we're supposed to encourage a large lot, reduced frontage instead of a subdivision. This is more beneficial to the town, less cost with maintaining a 500-foot dead-end road. That's much better for the neighborhood.
Like Neil said, this could be a 5-lot subdivision, and Amy's trying to do the right thing and get her occupancy here in Upton sooner than later.
Yeah, as part of the application process, obviously, we have to demonstrate that we could put a subdivision on, and we'll submit that. Amy has no interest in overutilizing space to the extent that she could, despite all my efforts to get her to do so.
But with that much available land, it would be reasonable to assume you could put 2 houses in there.
Right.
Reasonable.
Right.
That's all it takes. 2 or more.
So we owe you the demonstration of that, and we will.
Yeah.
We'll certainly do that at the time of the application.
Hey, what else you got? Any other comments from the members? Interested to hear the neighbors' approach to it. They should like this better than the last time, and they weren't that upset the last time.
I thought we had them all on board last time, by the time we withdrew. But I think this is certainly nice.
They'll be happy with it, even though they liked the last one, they'll be happy.
I think this is great.
This is Jurgensen. All right, thank you very much.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. It was something I wanted.
Yeah, it was in my planner's report. It was regarding the associate member which was brought up. So I had reached out to all the members individually. Everyone seemed like it was up.
The vote was 3-2, a majority vote for Eric.
Yeah.
Is there a motion to send to the selectmen notification of our vote, the majority vote for Eric, for their determination and then subsequent appointment? Their vote determination.
So notwithstanding that we all responded to you individually, should we take a vote at this meeting?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna just indicate to the select board that Eric is the preferred candidate. I mean,
it should be, the vote is going to be
At the
that,
select meetings, the joint meeting.
yeah,
then we voted a majority.
preferred candidate is.
I think the select board is meeting December 2nd. Which is next Tuesday. We'll see if they have can we get a quorum present at the select board for that vote on Tuesday? Yeah. When is that? They've been starting at 6 o'clock.
Why they need a quorum?
To do the vote on it.
You have to have it's a joint vote.
It's a joint vote. Want me to call it?
Oh, you can call it. Yeah, absolutely. You can call it.
We can go if you like it.
Oh, yeah, I love this stuff.
Their issue was just ahead of scheduling that vote. They wanted some indication from me that there was a preferred candidate for.
There was a 3-2 tally.
Yeah.
I
And
was talking about it.
I'm not sure you did, but you didn't need to because there was already a majority.
all right, so is that a motion to
You don't need a motion on Tuesday night if we can get a quorum. You'll vote on the recommended preferred candidate.
I have a week before next week.
Mhm.
Can you give us an idea of when we should jump on the meeting?
Yeah, I'll
So
work
we
with
don't
Stu to
have
get it
to
on
do
like
that.
first thing.
Slow down.
That's Tuesday, 6 o'clock?
Yep. Great.
next Tuesday?
Yes, next Tuesday
In the snowstorm?
in a snowstorm.
2.6 inches.
Well, I just checked, it seems to change it.
Is it really? Oh, I thought you were joking.
No,
Oh, all right.
it just gets 2.6 inches.
Yes, be careful when you commute. You have to work from home that day because of the snow to it.
It really rains.
Thank you again.
Thank you, have a good evening. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Anybody got board?
Was that your turn?
Yeah, that was Amy's attorney. But yeah, they haven't posted that meeting.
They
That's
keep
what I was
it
checking.
out of your.
I was wandering around the state forest and the flags of between forest and property on the old Lackey Road. And I can see that
The Westboro line. Before the Westboro line, before like you're after.
well, between between the forest, which is south of that, up to the Lackey. And the Gary and Hellman's been very busy doing the plan for space.
Who's was it Annie Kelly? Annie Kelly?
Need to return to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I move we adjourn.
So.